There we are. There we go. Here we go.
Here we go. This is it. Alrighty. Welcome, everybody, to Stay Indoors, the only podcast on the internet that's on Saturdays now? What?
Hell yeah.
We are Geek Garden, and I am joined today, as always, by Brandon Buy Low, Sell High Horn.
I feel like I know what today's podcast is going to be about.
Sean, stop
right?
trading Babish.
Boy.
And Jack, up the prices, tan.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Thanks, man. Of course, I am Kelly McCabe, and I'm the guy who makes these guys talk about stuff.
No. Where's your pun? Where's your play?
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's not how this works.
Kelly credits McCabe.
That's not how this works.
There you go.
Kelly Bitcoin McCabe.
Kelly cryptocurrency.
There it is. That's the joke. There we go. We found it. Apparently, Dogecoin was like the most talked about cryptocurrency on Twitter the other day.
Oh yeah, man.
Dogecoin.
Oh yeah.
That is unfortunately not one of our topics. But before we get to
Should've
that,
got in a Dogecoin like years ago.
should have got in on it, man. Should have seen.
I didn't know that.
Should have read the markets. Before we get there, I need to check in with the lads. Know how you're doing, Sean. We're gonna start with you because I believe you had a special day the other day.
Yeah, I turned 29. Feels good.
That's what's up.
Feels good.
Hey, it was good. It was good. I didn't really do much. Chilled out, hung out. Zoe came by. She dropped off her gifts and waved at me from the door. She like knocked on this window here, and she was like, dun, dun, dun. She's like, "Are you free?" And I'm like, in the middle of playing Rocket League. I was like, "No." I was like, "I'll be free in a minute." And then she like, I'm like, "I'm like, you mean right now?" So that was cute. Julie and Brandon were nice enough to make me dinner and a cake, which is very
nice.
awesome. Yeah, and then we played some games, played some Rocket League, which
Took forever.
It was a nightmare.
horrible to set up.
It's the worst.
Why is
I was
that
just like,
game
you know what's
so bad?
what else an easy game? Rocket League.
And I agreed. I was like, hell yes,
Never-
you were right 100%.
Trust Josh.
It's true. Yeah, and then what else happened on my birthday? I got some.
We
Brandon
also
got me-
played Overwatch.
We also played some Overwatch. That's true. Brandon got me some Magic cards, some lands that I need for my Vampire deck.
Really?
So we got me some funky ass socks. Check these things out.
All right.
Oh, dude, those are sick.
They got little
Oh,
Super
those are-
Nintendos on them.
Those are the Seafoam.
Oh yeah, they're
you're
the
talking
seafoam
about.
socks, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Seafoam.
Seafoam texture.
Seafoam
Sea-
texture.
They're made of collected seafoam, recycled seafoam from the beach.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
And then yeah, not much else has happened. I'm trying to think what else I did that day. I stayed up really late.
Yo, that.
Played a little raft.
Played
Yeah.
a little raft.
Made a
Like a
little
little raft.
Yeah, it was a good day. It was good, all things considered. It was a little like fine quarantine birthday.
Mm-hmm.
It's very
You know,
lackluster, right? It's weird.
We've now
yeah.
all had a quarantine birthday.
Yes.
Oh shit, we have.
Yeah, we've now
Wow.
all had a quarantine birthday. Yeah, because
No.
mine, the quarantine happened like on my
The
birthday,
week of
basically
your
last year. Yeah.
birthday.
Oh yeah, right.
And then of course Jack is just a little bit after me. So now we've made the full circle. I'm coming around for round 2. I'm ready for round 2 of quarantine birthday.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. It
Let's
felt
go.
especially lackluster because normally Brandon and I we'd like join our birthdays together and have this huge fucking party.
Mega birthday.
But we didn't get to do that this year, obviously.
And normally I make you guys play archery tag, which is always a good
Very
time.
fun. It's always traditionally
Yeah, we
amazing.
almost did.
Which-
we almost did.
Which would have
So
been a
close.
great, honestly, thinking about it, would have been a great socially distant sport, except for all the touching of the things.
Except for all the touching of the things and the wearing of the masks that other people wear and the.
I mean, yeah, bring
But
your
you
own.
can sanitize
obviously they get
those,
cleaned,
right?
they get
Like
cleaned,
that,
but
yeah.
Still,
Yeah,
still. It probably would have been fine, but we also didn't know how long this was going to go on for. Had I known that it would have been more than a year, probably I might have just said fuck it. But here we are.
might have just been selfish for the one.
We
day.
also didn't know anything about like the disease.
Yeah, that's
So-
true. We didn't know as much of the information now.
Mhm.
as we
Yeah.
There was so many unknowns that you were just like, it's probably safer. And
I'd
we're all
rather
like,
not give you guys a deadly disease just to play archery tag on my birthday. So.
Aw, Kelly.
pretty cowardly.
You shouldn't have. It sounds like a coward move.
Well, that is in my nature, so that makes sense. Jack, how you doing, man? Shout out to Jack who did me a solid the other day. My mom was busy, and so he gave me a ride to the doctor's office for my or to the
Oh, yeah.
hospital for my doctor's appointment.
Which turns out your mom wasn't busy.
And then things changed, and my mom could have given me a ride because that's how life goes. But still,
It was really funny. Jack said he had to drive into Lionsgate, and Sean was like, "To the bridge."
somebody didn't
yeah.
go up into his man.
Why?
Why to the bridge? Is he going for a walk? I don't understand.
I had no context to the conversation, right? I just come
Yeah.
in and then Jack's all like, I'm taking Kelly to Lionsgate. And I was like,
All right.
why? Like, I have so many questions. Hospital, right. There's also a hospital named that. Right.
Where did you go when you had to go to the hospital at like when we were at Cap? Was it Lionsgate?
Me? Probably, yeah. I don't know, dude. I was on a whole other planet that day.
That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, Jack, how you doing? How you doing, man?
Yeah, no, everything's good. I think I went up last week on Thursday.
Cool.
Oh, nice. You got a flight in. I guess the weather was
yeah.
pretty nice.
Yeah, it was actually really good. Funny thing is, we almost flew into some eagles.
Flew
Oh my
into the
God.
sun.
Yeah,
Jesus.
that was close. But other than that, no, it was good. It was good.
Was it like cloudy and like you didn't see them or what?
No. They were by the I guess you would call it the approach zone. So like the landing before the landing part of the
Gotcha.
Yeah. So they were just chilling around there.
I have to go in this direction. Please move. Please move. I have to be here. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
Can't you hear me? I'm
It's
right
like-
here.
It's like when you're driving a car and you like see a squirrel on the road and you're like, "Can you please move? Please move." But this time you're flying an airplane, which is just cooler.
Yeah. The difference is that if you hit the squirrel, that sucks. Like poor squirrel. But if you hit the eagle with the plane, you're like, ah, because all up you fucking shit. It hurts your propellers, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of shit gets wild.
Yeah, because you're flying like rotary planes, right? Like with
Like
propellers
propeller
and stuff.
planes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
little prop planes.
Yes. No problem.
That's sick. I guess it's looking like it's gonna snow pretty soon, so you're probably grounded for a while, huh?
Is it
Yeah.
though?
Been saying that
It
for
keeps
weeks.
saying it's gonna snow and then it
I
doesn't.
know.
No.
Don't get
Even
my
so,
fucking
though,
hopes up.
I mean,
It's too
even
warm.
if there was no snow, there's still other shit that you have to
Worry about.
watch out for. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's no snow in my.
It's probably like a problem in like a little prop plane or something if it gets too cold too, right? Like even if it's not actually snowing, like is that a concern?
No, because the ideal conditions is it's actually you don't want it too hot. So you actually want cold, and sort of like in between. Well, it depends on the altitude, but ideally you want cold because you don't want hot because hot makes it too humid, and you don't want humidity in the engine.
Doesn't it create like weird air
even-
pockets if it's too hot out and stuff?
Yeah, even with cold weather, you can still get icing in the engine, but with icing you can manage it yourself because the engine will automatically do it for you. So it doesn't really matter too much. with
Engine's
the
hot.
engine, or if it's cold.
Engine's too
Yeah,
hot.
but if it's hot, then the engine will not overheat, but it will produce too much heat and therefore burn more fuel and stuff. So
Good to
yeah,
know.
ideally you kind of want it cold.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and not humid. So
Yeah, if anything, it's just like the takeoff procedures because you have to make sure you de-ice the plane and all that bullshit. And make
yeah,
sure
yeah.
your
So
shit's not
yeah, it's
frozen.
just de-icing. Like when you're up there already, it sort of will kind of handle itself. Sometimes, but if it's like really too cold, then you would have to de-ice kind of the plane yourself while you're in the air. But like when you're on the ground, you will de-ice it automatically always. And then you can even check if there was ice in there in the first place. But you handle all that kind of stuff on the ground, obviously beforehand, or you even get up there.
That makes sense.
No, they get a guy go out on the plane once you've already taken off, and they're like fucking hitting away the
down there.
ice, you know.
I was just gonna
Oh,
say
yeah.
fly into the sun. That seems like a solution.
Just look at the
Sure.
sun and just go
Situation.
towards it.
I'm
Oh,
picturing
what
like
is it?
a fun like steampunk fantasy thing where like you go up there with your little like weird steampunk propeller plane and you have like little goblins that go out on the wings and like start chipping the ice off.
Chip the ice off, yeah.
Yeah.
Icarus.
Like a zeppelin or something.
100%.
I feel like I can see like the magic card art.
Maybe.
Oh yeah. I already see Kaldheim.
Yeah.
Or not Kaldheim. Kaladesh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did forget to plug one thing I got for my birthday. This fucking cool ass keyboard my friend made me.
Pretty dope.
How
I love
long
that
made
exposed
me
Chipboard or
electronics
whatever.
inside there.
Yeah.
I know, it's so dope.
It's always fun.
N64.
Some N64, GameCube, old school like PS2 see-through controller
Yeah.
shit back
Yes.
in the 90s, man.
Back in the
Yeah.
day.
Well, Sean completely decimated my beautiful segue that I had to ask Brandon how his week was going.
Asian.
I mean, that's what he's here for.
Brandon, you had a stream yesterday where you were opening some card packs, and I fucking lined up this thing with like the goblin to the segue to magic cards to talk about your pack opening, and I was like
And then fucking Sean just
crushing it,
ruined
and then Sean's like, my thing again.
It was my birthday.
And you know what? That's fair. I expect to have the same level of privilege when it's my birthday, so I have to.
No.
extend
That's
the same
fair.
courtesy to
That's
Sean.
fair.
But yeah, so Brandon, you were opening some card packs last night. How are you doing? What's going on?
Good, yeah. So I've been just having a really stressful week at work. There's just been a bunch of stuff that's come up that just like I've had to take responsibility. And I get a really, I had this really long talk with, not long talk, but just a small discussion with Julie the other day where the thing that makes me the most anxious is like deadlines and like time allotments for different projects. And so it's like, oh hey, like we got an email from this person and like you should respond to them ASAP before they like don't give a shit anymore, right? Like you have to follow up with the customer before it doesn't matter anymore, kind of thing, right? And anyway, so I have like this program at work, and where it's like a School of Rock program, and at the beginning of the year, it's like really stressful. You have to like see who's coming back to the program. Like I'm trying to find kids to fill spaces in the bands, like and get everything going, get the teachers set up, put them in the schedule, yada yada yada. And I'm the kind of person that likes to just like set things up like the best possible way, like take my time, make it work, right? Like you guys know me, like when I was like, I like to set up a room, make it function its best way possible, and then just leave it and just like maintain it, kind of a thing. That's like the style of person I am. But with this Band Factory thing, it's like we did all that, and then it felt like we just finished that, and now we have to get ready for the show, and then that's like a whole other like thing, and like everyone is like stressed, and they're like, oh, I can't make that date for the show, and blah blah. And I'm just like, ah! So it's just been like a whirlwind, and it's just like I was like ready to like take a break, and now it's like you gotta do all this stuff again. So that's been kind of stressful. But anyways, because of that, okay, so Kaldheim, new magic set. It's a Viking themed magic set. Very very stoked, very happy. Sean opened his first few packs last night, and so he knows a little bit about the set now. Not a lot. He hasn't spoiled everything for himself yet, but he saw all the snow cards, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And he saw that I got a God of Winter, and
Yorn, God of Winter.
and you also pulled the Elf Planeswalker.
I did, yes.
Yeah.
I also pulled the
Tavar.
Yeah, Tavar. I also pulled the King of the
Herald.
Elves. Herald card.
Yeah, so that's the Planeswalker. It's not going to focus. It's just
You
not
can't
going to
even
have
see
fun.
it.
Yeah, it is. It'll focus.
No, it's not.
It'll
Dude.
focus.
Oh, hey! Tivar Kal. Yeah, there you go. Very,
there
very
you go.
pretty card. Yeah, and so because I had a rough week at work, I was like getting really impatient. I just wanted to crack packs. And essentially, so Magic's weird because normally you have what's called a pre-release weekend, which is like the weekend before the set releases, where you can go to your local game store and buy what's called a pre-release kit, which is one of these bad boys. Crack some packs, make a small deck, and have a little tournament, and kind of get like almost like early access to the cards. You get kind of like a beta access to the set. And then the actual set releases the following weekend. But they're still holding that weird thing, even though local game store things aren't really a thing anymore. So you can buy pre-release kits and buy draft booster boxes, which are like packs you're supposed to draft with, this weekend. But then everything else, like buying singles or buying the set booster boxes or anything else, don't release until next weekend. So because I care more about collecting the cards, I ordered a bunch of boxes. Sean and I ordered some boxes that just are easier to collect cards in, but they don't ship until next weekend. But I was like, I want to open Kaldheim packs. I want to do it now. And because I was really stressed out this week and I just felt like buying myself something, I bought myself a draft booster box and a pre-release kit. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got a lot of sweet cards. This is one of...
Spoilers.
one of every. I'm not showing you cards. This is one of every card that I have
Spoilers.
so far.
I actually don't care about spoilers anymore.
And I'm missing 40 cards out of 235. So yeah, I'm getting
Not bad.
this is the first set I want to like try and actually get every card in the set, like have a binder that's just like the full set, and then have additional cards for putting in decks or whatever. Just because I like Viking stuff. Viking stuff is cool. It's pretty rad.
Viking stuff is cool.
But
Viking
yeah,
stuff
so
is cool.
Sean and I think those ship, the 2 boxes that Sean and I ordered ship on Thursday, so I assume there's a good chance we might be streaming some openings next weekend with Sean and I. Yeah.
Hell yes.
But it was good. I was very happy. My happy place is opening packs and then doing the organizing. That's my fucking weird thing, right? It's like, so all of these are in like nice order. They're like numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and like
Jesus Christ, Brandon.
I'm a fucking nerd. So there you go.
Nice.
How was your week, Kelly?
Pretty good. First off, if you see me rubbing my eye a lot, for some reason this eye's just been twitching for like 3 days, like my
I
eyelid.
fucking hate that shit.
So
hate it.
that's why I keep touching it.
Stop. Vitamin C,
But no,
potassium.
I went to, like I said, I went to the doctor's office. I basically have the go-ahead to like start getting back to regular activity. I'm gonna be calling my manager at work and starting off on like a short shift at work and stuff soon. My physio now can be more like building up strength and actually kind of getting back to like regular activity as opposed to like sort of babying my knee. Like it's all healing pretty well. There's a little spot. I have the x-rays. It's crazy to compare to the old ones. There's like a little spot at the edge of like the part of the bone where it was like cut, where it's still healing out, but it's like much more like solid through now.
Nice.
Yeah,
How does it feel?
so it feels fine.
Wow.
Like the muscle stuff is all still like super weak, obviously. But in terms of like the actual knee joint, it feels a lot better. And it feels like it like fixed some of the pain problems that I was having, which is like what the surgery was for. So that's really good.
Hell yeah.
So far everything's looking good. We'll have to wait and see,
Sweet.
obviously, for long term. But so far, yeah, I basically got the go ahead to like I don't have to have any more follow up appointments with the doctor unless like I feel like there's something wrong and I want to go see
Something
him.
up.
Like, there's nothing
Yeah.
else scheduled or anything. Like I'm all
It's
good.
always a nice thing. Stop
Yeah.
seeing a doctor for a little bit.
It is weird though, because like I think especially during COVID when you're not really seeing anybody, like I had these like regularly scheduled meetings with this surgeon who like obviously I had this I had this like fairly major surgery and it was like a big deal in my life, and now I'm just like not seeing that man anymore. There's like something almost weird about that, you know?
Yeah.
That I don't have like an appointment in 6 months or something to like follow up. But yeah, things are good. Other than that, I've really been finally very good about like working on my comic and doing more writing and like stuff like that. Like in terms
Yeah, you
of
were working on it
building
last
a
night,
bit more
right?
of a schedule. Yeah, I've been doing it like every day for like a solid week,
yeah.
and really dedicating time to it. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I found my groove, which feels really good.
It's like the hardest fucking thing.
Yeah, like I feel like I want to work on it now, which I was like
From-
really unmotivated for a while.
From one hobbyist to another. It's just so frustrating.
But I'm really stoked. It's funny now that I'm like able to go back to work. I've had this taste of like figuring out almost like this creative life, and like I want to find a way to like make this livable, right? Where I'm like making art or making stories or something. Cause
Tell me about it.
damn, man, so
Yeah,
much
dude.
better. So much better. But yeah, so that's good. I'm not quite ready to go back to acting because that's like can be a lot of like standing around and like it's kind of intense, but I think I'll be ready in like a few weeks or a month or so to after
You think that's gonna be worse than your waiter job?
Well, the thing is
job?
that with the serving job, if I like need to take a break or something, like if I need to just like
You
go sit
can.
down for a while, I can
Yeah.
get somebody to like cover it. And I'm also going to be trying to do only like 4-hour shifts at first, like lunch shifts.
Right, I guess that's true. Yeah. You can
And I don't
ease
think we're
yourself
going to be
into it.
that busy right now just because of COVID.
You'll be shocked.
Yep.
Fair. But yeah, so I just am nervous because like if I'm have to be up on my feet, and it's like those are long days, even if I have a small part, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
I can be sitting for a lot of it, but those are still like really long days.
Yeah.
But Soon, I think soon. I'll be ready, which is good. Yeah, pretty good. It's been pretty chill.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Can't complain. I'm thinking if there's anything else, but I don't think so. Just been
It
pretty
is
good.
it is kind of weird, the whole like being in quarantine and being home so much, and then like it takes a while, but then you're kind of like, okay, I kind of like all this free time, and I kind of like the time I can, you know, put towards these different things, and then like suddenly work comes back and you're like, no. Wait, but
Yeah.
no.
I
Yeah.
think the combination of it, like with the surgery, like it took a while before I could even
Yeah.
like, even once I was walking around, I was still like, it's only been fairly recently that I don't get just like tired all the time, you know, like building that back. So I think that's kind of the thing, is that now that I'm mostly functional, I'm starting to feel like, okay, now I can like work on stuff, and I can like get up and I can make myself food, and I can like really have like a functional space at home, which I had a hard time finding, I think, before, because I was still dealing with all the surgery stuff. But yeah, so I'm kind of like, I gotta go back to work. Like, I need to go back to work, but I don't really want to go back to work, you know? Oh, and I started I'm doing French on Duolingo right now, trying to learn some French.
Oh, cool.
Magnifique.
Just for fun.
That's all I know.
Yeah. I'm obviously not conversational yet, but it's fun. It's just fun to do that. I find languages fascinating. I always have. So it's cool.
I've attempted learning a language so many times in the last like 5 to 6 years. Like, I've tried learning French, Spanish, and Italian, and it's just like, it's really hard without having someone to have a conversation with for it to like stick. It's really, really difficult. So like, I really at some point in my life want to just like throw my like even just like go to Montreal for like a couple months or something, and just like throw myself into the thick of it and just be like, okay, make me learn this language, make me do it.
The thing is, Brandon, if you go to Montreal, they'll be mad at you because they know you'll be able to speak English better.
I don't give a fuck.
Because,
whatever.
well, because like how they greet people in Montreal, they go hello, bonjour, and if you say bonjour, they'll speak to you in French. You say hello.
Okay, I'll go to some small town in Quebec. I won't go to Montreal.
Yeah, go somewhere where they don't speak English.
They
They
don't
don't
speak
expect you
English
to
at
speak English.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I've heard that's like the best way to learn, is just like be in it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just been fun. Just been something else to do, because I don't have enough things to do. So I thought, yeah, I'll learn French.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's me. That's where I'm at.
I don't have enough things to do. I'm gonna learn French.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's funny that you say you learn French, because like when I was going to school, I have like learning disabilities, obviously, but like one of them was that language was really hard for me to do. But on the opposite thing is like the pronunciation and the vocal side of language is always something that I like found fun. But it's like actually writing and understanding how the like sentence structure works was like this whole other thing. And I'm like, now that I'm 29, I'm like, I know that I could learn a language, and I should, and I want to. But there's like all this past sort of like baggage I have associated with it, being like, well, I was told I would never be very good at it, so I shouldn't do it.
It's worth noting that I bounced off French in high school, because I didn't particularly care for my teacher. Sometimes you just have a teacher you don't gel with, but also I don't think that schools like teach language well. It's so
Schools don't teach a lot of things well. I don't think you need to make it specific.
That's
to
true,
language.
but like they focus so much on like the rules, where like something like Duolingo, which is just like a random app, but it is free, so if you're curious, you can check it out. But the thing that's cool about it is it just kind of throws you into it, and you start learning sentence structure just by like doing sentences. Like, it doesn't, because that's how you learn, like that's how we learn English, you know? Like as a kid, you just learn how sentences are constructed because you read it and you speak it, and people around you are speaking it all the time. So that's why a lot of people think that going to like going to France or going to Spain or something to learn a language is so beneficial, because you're not like sitting there learning, okay, so the adjective comes after the noun and blah, blah, blah. You're just hearing it and saying it and reading it, and then you eventually learn it through osmosis.
Chat is swearing in French. How dare they?
How dare they?
Sacre bleu.
Tabernacle.
Sacre bleu.
Also, Brandon, I don't know if you can see, but I had to clear out that bottom drawer right there
Fill your magic cards.
And then look all that shit. Man.
Okay, so Jack came by and like picked up all his fucking magic cards because like we were talking about possibly doing some webcam games, which I'd love to do sometime soon. Because I have this like I'm gonna move my computer and get it all set up and everything. But Jack didn't mention that he bought. Did you buy a box of Legends?
Yeah.
Jack was like, now that I have my cards, I want to buy cards again, and then he came and bought a box of Commander Legends.
Mm-hmm.
Got a couple cards over there, man.
Fewer two.
All right, guys. Well, that's how we're doing.
That's catch up time.
That's catch up time.
We made through in record time.
We did it. Good. I'm so proud of you, boys. Look at us
Thank
go.
you. I've been working on my fast talking. We're going to talk about really fast.
Are you like blur? You're blur now,
I wish I was blur, dude. I wish I could talk that fast.
right?
Being
That's
really
nuts.
fast is really fun.
So. All right. So
Tell me.
What?
Tell me.
something weird happened,
Tell
which
me.
I'm assuming you guys already know based on the
Tell
intro
me.
names that I gave you.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
Let's talk about hedge funds.
we're a bunch of fucking nerds.
Yes.
We don't care for rich people.
What?
That's been pretty well documented at this point.
Eat the
Why?
rich.
Rich so bad. So I can be even more self-loathing.
And
Yes.
and we're also not financiers or economists. So
We're not economists, Brandon.
we're gonna say some things here that
We're gonna be wrong.
probably
Go on.
sound dumb, but Reddit, specifically the r/Wall Street Bets subreddit, has been literally making like national headlines. Like American lawmakers, like Elizabeth Warren and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and stuff down in the States have been commenting on this. It's like it's in the news. It's like a huge thing. They're really fucking with the stock market, and because one, it's like Reddit, so it's kind of connected to just geek culture, but
Meme culture.
meme culture.
What?
But two,
Take that back.
they're doing it through GameStop, which is very funny.
Yes.
So I want to explain the basic premise. This is like super duper dumbed down from the research that I've done. Basically, they're messing with people they're doing what's called shorting the stock market, which basically means what you do is you borrow shares from somebody like a stock trader or somebody. You sell them when you think they're at like a decent price, but you're expecting the price to go lower. Then you buy them back from the market at a lower cost, and then you return them to the person you borrowed the shares from. You have a due date on this, like an expiration date on your borrowed shares, by which point you have to return them to the person you borrowed them from. So shorting shares is a really risky thing that not like everybody is doing. Basically what happened is a lot of these like hedge fund managers and stuff, they were in the middle of shorting on GameStop because its stock has been decreasing because obviously nobody can go to their store and people are digitally downloading games and COVID and blah, blah, blah. Their stock has been steadily declining. At the start of all this, they were at like $20 American. So a bunch of people on this subreddit purchased a whole bunch of stocks in GameStop during this process, which drove their prices up. A few days ago, they were above like $300 and something, which means all of these like hedge fund managers are losing a bunch of money because they have to buy those stocks back to return them to the people they borrowed them from. And they were expecting them to decrease in value, but they have exponentially increased in value. So
Yeah.
all
Meme
of
culture. Woo.
yeah, and it's just like crazy meme culture, and all of these people, like all of these super wealthy people, are getting like basically mad that the poors are fucking with the stock market and they're ruining,
Yeah. The
they're
poor.
ruining my billions. Like literally,
The
I watched this
poors.
interview with this like guy who's like, all these people they're just coming in, they just want to attack wealthy people, and it's all bullshit. We need to stand together or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, the poor people do need to stand together against you assholes. And I just think it's crazy, and I think it's actually really cool because it's really easy to feel powerless against wealthy people, because like wealthy people literally like lobby politicians and like basically get laws made that benefit them, and You know, like it's crazy, and this shows that there is a way to hit them where it actually hurts.
Oh yeah, like
Their taint.
especially
Yes.
It's right in the taint.
especially in a field like investing, where you know the majority of the people who are investors or career investors are probably pretty well off, and one ratio, like if it was me versus any career investor, they can make way more of an impact and kind of control the money way more because they have more money to put into these things to begin with, so they can kind of do what they must. When for me, I'm like, I don't know, I'll put like $100 over there and see if it grows or something. I have fucking no idea, but that's all I can afford. I could never do anything more than that. So definitely from like a 1-to-1 ratio. But the thing is, there's more of us. There's
way
more
more
of
of
us
us.
poor fuckers, right? I saw just really briefly. I saw
Pull our
someone.
money together.
There
We have
was
more.
someone, I can't remember if it was on Twitter or on Reddit, but someone who was like on the other side of it, like they were like frustrated and mad or whatever about this whole thing happening. You know, they were criticizing, you know, like, why are you spending, like, if you're poor, why are you spending your money on this? And like someone responded, and they were like, well, first of all, like my money's growing, so like whatever. But secondly, like, at this point, if I lost the $200 I just put into that to fucking stop you, I don't give a shit. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I've lost the $200, and this is just to spite you.
Yeah.
This is just spite you. And then there's been all these memes that have been like, for the 2008 stock market crash, like there's one that's like Aragorn like running towards the Black Gates. It's like, for 2008. Fuck you, investors!
I saw,
God.
I saw a really good comment. I think it was a screen grab tweet, and I'm sorry, but I can't reference the person who made it. But it was somebody who said, I think something along the lines of, I think Wall Street underestimated the coordination of an entire generation that grew up on Friday night World of Warcraft raids. And I thought
The
that was really good too.
Oh god.
The other
Yeah,
thing that's
for
crazy
sure.
about it too is that, like, you know, super wealthy people, they like, and like stock trader like organizations and stuff, they can get like government bailouts if they make really bad calls, and like they can get bailed out and helped. Like there's so much less risk to the people who already have all the money for whom there's less risk than there is for
Yeah.
random guy on the
Yeah.
internet who says, I like the stonks.
Yeah. I like the stonks. I like the stonks.
God, I just love
It's
the
a whole weird thing, because like it's kind of funny because like I don't know, like we've had our own criticisms on, say, GameSpot in the past, right? Like we've never been like a huge fan of GameSpot slash GameStop, sorry, slash EB Games for us. In recent years, my opinion on them as a company has changed a little bit, because someone made a good point, being like, hey, at the end of the day, if you have a bunch of fucking like shitty ass games sitting at home, they're probably one of the few places that will give you money for it. Right? Like if you have some fucking piece of shit like Burger King racing game from like the 360 era.
10 cents. But yeah.
Yeah, 10 cents versus nothing that anyone else is going to give you, right? Like they will eat up your bullshit, right? Like, and you show up with like a pile of fucking games, and they're like, yeah, here's $15. You're like, fuck yeah, great. Because that was literally going to go in the trash, or like nothing, it was gonna, like nothing was going to happen with it, right? But that said, there's still kind of like a weird store. Like every time I walk in there, I'm like, okay, wait, are you a video game store? Are you like a merch store? Like what the fuck is happening in here?
Electronic boutique. What's so hard
What's
to
so much
understand
about that?
So it's funny that it's you know, it's really just by coincidence that this is the company that is quote unquote saved by this whole thing that's happened, right? And there's arguably a reason why the stock was going down to begin with. And Kelly, you made it clear earlier, right? It's like they're not making any sales because no one's going to stores, right? They've been a business that's kind of been like there's a reason they cut into like the like action figure merchandise part, is because they weren't making enough money on video games. And then on top of that, like even in the last year, and someone who like tries to avoid digital purchases when I can, have bought in so many digital games.
Yeah.
And like none of my money has been going to that company, which it normally usually would. So it makes sense, right? So it's almost, and I understand this isn't the point of it, but it's kind of funny that they then like saved GameStop, and like to a degree you're kind of like, but why? like they were dying. Like why? Like why did you save them, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest though. Saving GameStop wasn't the main.
No,
goal.
exactly. It
No,
wasn't.
it was for 2008.
Right? It was just to say fuck you, Wall Street investors, like, you're a piece of shit. Stop shorting these companies and like making a bunch of fucking money. You're a piece of shit.
Now I want to short these companies.
Yeah, and now, as far as I know, the Reddit community has been like slowly going to like other things too. So I know they were at Dogecoin for a while, which Dogecoin straight. I don't know. Do you guys know much about Dogecoin?
I just know it's a cryptocurrency.
Well, no, it's not even a cryptocurrency. It's just a meme. Like you can't use it anywhere. You can only buy and sell the stock, and that's it, right? Cryptocurrencies are actually like a currency. Like, you can then use them to spend somewhere. Dogecoin is nothing. It's just called Dogecoin. It literally was just a joke. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna make a fucking stock called Dogecoin.
Yes.
It's so
now
dumb.
Let's short that.
And then there was something else they were buying into. I kept seeing like AEM or something. Like there was another.
I think it was AMC.
AMC. I don't know. Yeah,
what it is.
There was something else that then the Reddit community went to and did something too. And it's just really interesting. And I've now started to see articles about like how people think Wall Street's going to react to this. And I don't know enough to really comment on it, but I'm very curious though as to what this means.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like it's just an interesting moment in time, I think. Like I think whatever happens, like this will be something people will look back on and be like, "Oh yeah, that did something," you know?
Well, I feel like there's been so much, at least in my social circles, there's been a lot of talk about like investing in finance and cryptocurrencies. And I've been seeing a lot of like just like studies and articles and even just friends of mine commenting on it that like especially our generation, we're very interested in cryptocurrencies. And so like if you look, I mean, obviously we all know Bitcoin is now like $35,000 a Bitcoin, which is just fucking insane. So if you bought like 10 Bitcoin like 10 years ago, you're fucking set. Like you're just loaded. Like it's stupid. Not even 10. If you just had a couple, you're just like you're ready to go. But a bunch of other cryptocurrencies are also like very healthily, but not like scarily, like increasing, like quite a few of them, like a handful of them. And so I know for a fact, like I know Alessandro has been in our chat a few times, and he's really into cryptocurrencies and is talking about it. I know on Instagram he just like showed off his like cryptocurrency Visa card that he has now, which is kind of interesting.
Wow.
But it's been something I've been really interested in because I mean, it's a weird thing, the idea of like putting money into something and then like not having to do anything. It just like increases in value and then you just get to like sit on the money. But the idea is also really nice.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I don't gotta work, right? But I know there was like, I think Sean, did you mention this? Or there was an article somewhere that was like, it was like the people who are buying stocks in GameStop were criticizing the wealthy people for like not working for a living. And I thought that was like kind of an interesting thing. Wasn't you? Yeah. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I entirely agree with that. Like I understand this, like the sentiment, or not the sentiment, but like the position they're in. But I was like, I feel like investing is like a real enough career. But
nah, it's bullshit.
It's bullshit. Yeah, you think it's bullshit?
It's
yeah.
bullshit.
I mean,
okay.
I honestly I don't know enough about finances. Like I understand there's risk, but you're not really. It seems weird because you don't contribute, right? You just take money that doesn't really exist and you put that money into something else, and then you take it out when there's more of the money there, and then you put it somewhere else, and then you just keep leapfrogging.
And you just do it over again.
You know, it's like you're not doing anything. You're just putting money somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I said, like you can get bailed out if something absolutely horrible goes wrong, you know?
I mean, there's that level of investor where that's like all you fucking do, and like your goal, like here's the thing though, right? It's like there's investors who are like their goal is just like any fucking capitalist or like entrepreneur or businessman, their goal is just to continue making more and more money. But if your goal is to like use investment to help companies and projects that like you actually believe in, and then that also gives you money in the long term because you invest in companies that actually do well, right? Like in my opinion, like investing should just be like, okay, so for instance, my parents will lend me money to go to college, and then I go to college and get a good job, and then I pay them back afterwards with interest, right? Like that's the idea, right? Like what?
You pay your parents interest? I mean,
some people do.
sounds like It's a weird relationship.
I mean,
Like, just go to a
not
bank.
really.
Just cut your parents out of the whole situation.
But it could be
Go to your
it could be
parents.
less interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way,
It make
right?
Christmas
Like that
dinner.
idea, right? The idea is that you're investing in something that then will bring you returns, but also because you want to see that thing flourish, right? So it's like you want to put money into Matt Koval stuff or whatever, right? Because you want to see it grow. Sure, you're not getting returns because you're not at that level, but but yeah, like I feel like investing isn't just sitting there going like, I'm gonna try and find the best way to make money all the time, 100%.
I
I
feel,
want to make
I
some
feel like
money,
at
but
the
not all
highest
the time.
level, that's like a big part. Like the fact is, like,
Oh, 100%.
it's structured in such a way that that's viable and encouraged by the system, right?
Mhm.
Like the only thing that stops you from looking at it that way is like a sense of essentially altruism,
Yeah.
right? But if you're
Mm-hmm.
like the system is designed in such a way that you make the most benefit by just like
Yeah.
playing the stock market and
Right. Yeah.
and doing that, right? Like sure, you could use it for good essentially, but
Yeah.
But that's
the
only if-
inherent design of the system is
But yeah.
otherwise. That's just if you want to, if you
Yeah.
think that you can
Yeah.
do
The
good.
system,
Like,
the system definitely encourages it. I just don't think that like investing as a viable thing to make income isn't necessarily a shitty thing to do.
Like, having it supplement your income, I don't think is wrong. But if it's entirely your income source, I think it becomes a little hazy then, right? Like, if you earn 80% of your money on the backs of other people's labor because all you did was give them money, it's kind of weird, right?
the
right.
stock market is also like a weird abstraction because like it's all made up. Like that doesn't it's not necessarily directly correlated to how much money they're currently making either. Like it
Yeah.
usually is. But like even like something that's affecting their public image right now can affect their stock prices. And like it's weird.
Right.
way
Like
that
what
you're not
actually
even-
pertains to what makes stock valuable, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like-
Yeah.
It's a strange algorithm that is like beyond most people's understanding because it's run by a supercomputer now,
Yeah.
and
like,
millions of computers just talking to each other.
if I have like stocks in Cyberpunk, like nobody who works at Cyberpunk is getting more money directly because I purchased or like CDPR. Like if I like before Cyberpunk came out, if I was like, oh, Cyberpunk's gonna be huge, and I'm gonna buy stocks, like their market value goes up, and because of that, the people who run the company might then decide to like give their people more money because they're trying to like make sure their product is good so their stock prices stay higher, like whatever. But like
Right.
me giving those money to the stock prices is me like buying stocks. It's not me then
Paying.
paying
Yeah.
money to
True.
the debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like that's
But
not.
I think that's a flaw in the system.
It's that weird abstraction of like
Yeah.
the stock market doesn't exist. It's like this weird fucking
You're
nebulous
basically paying money to a computer.
money
That's it.
cloud.
Yeah, like I mean, in a perfect world, you do it like you would just like a straight up investor. You just be like, okay, like if I put money into this, like what are you doing with that money? Like where is it going? Are you giving it to your employees? Are you hiring more people? Is it going towards replacing your hardware? Like whatever it is, right? And you actually have like a more direct relationship with whatever your money's doing, then like I feel like that's more viable. But yeah, in the stock market, it's like I'm buying stocks. What does that
Yeah.
do? I don't know.
Oh.
Let's hope
Right.
they go up.
Brian, I think you're describing like being a corporate like sponsor rather than like being a sponsor to a corporation as opposed to like investing in that company. Right?
True.
I think the terms are different because what you want to be is like a business partner where you've now given $10,000 and you want that company to now succeed
Yeah.
as opposed to just like going to the stock market and investing in
And then investing.
the
like,
idea of the company more or less.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
like sell it off later or whatever.
Yeah, to
yeah,
sell
that's
the
true.
idea of the company to someone else.
But again,
But then
we're not economists. This is
yeah.
all.
But then it
Yeah.
depends on the company because that company that you want to be a business partner with will probably turn around and go like, okay, well, we'll give you this many stocks,
I mean,
right?
yeah, like maybe, I don't know.
like then again this is like it's hypothetical also as well, and so it's like it's hard to say because I think Brandon, again, I'm gonna agree with Sean there because you are distinctly talking about two different types of like I would say at least kind of like investing, quotation marks, but like it's yeah, I feel like you're talking more like the hands-on kind of approach where you're just like, I'm physically giving you money. So like me as an idea hope that you do well. Whereas if you go into the stocks, you're just like, okay, I'm giving you guys money.
Like
Whereas
the people who were
I
shorting, who were trying to take like a short option on GameStop, right? They weren't doing it because they like wanted to bring GameStop back or anything. They were just like, oh, the stocks are failing, so if I borrow these
money.
and I short them now, I can just make a profit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Because that's like what eventually investment does.
This is actually something that I wanted to talk about too, as like a corollary to it, because I think it's interesting, because I think that we're also seeing a shift in that because of crowdfunding, right? Like if you're looking, if you're like an indie developer, for example, if I would say I've got this idea for a game, I think it's going to cost this much money, whatever, my options are either like, say I need like $10,000. My options are find one super rich dude to give me $10,000 and really sell him, like, trust me, man, this is going to be fucking huge, and I'm going to sell a bunch of copies, and then you're going to make bank. Or I can just put it out to a bunch of people and get like 10,000 people all to give me $1.
Yeah.
And then they don't give a fuck. Like, whatever, I gave them $1. I thought it was a neat idea. They have to be less interested to invest in it, and they don't have as much of an interest in if it actually pays off. They're like, I don't know, it sounds cool. Sure, I'll give you $1.
Yeah, I'll get it if it's done.
I'll get it if you make it and it's cool, like whatever. And I think that is also shifting the conversation around investing, because for a lot of projects, specifically in the video game space, it doesn't work in every context. It works in some other contexts, but I think specifically in the video game space, stuff like Kickstarter and Indiegogo and GoFundMe, they're changing the conversation around investment, and it's allowing like a lot more people who would have a hard, like, you hear about all these stories too of people who like they went to investor after investor and publisher after publisher, and nobody picked up their game, and then they finally made it, and it was huge because they did have a good idea, but they couldn't like necessarily sell it or sell like that investment group on it. But if you can just get the word out there and it looks cool enough, you can just make it, right? Like, you don't have to worry about the market in the same way, which I think is changing the conversation around investment and around finance, and might even be partially responsible for why this day trading stuff is becoming more popular, and why something like Wall Street Bets could even do this, right? Because people are just more comfortable, like the layman is just more comfortable with that concept now.
Yeah, like financing and like investing is becoming a more normal thing when it used to be kind of like this. And to be fair, it still is a very gray area for I think all of us. But it's just I know more people who do it, and I feel like we were a generation that didn't give a shit for a while, and now we're kind of like, oh, what is this thing over here? What is that all about? Okay, I'm curious. What's that? So yeah, it's definitely weird. We're hitting that wall. We're hitting that wall where I wish I knew more.
I wasn't expecting us to have a crazy conversation about this. We had to talk about it because it's crazy.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
It's just so it's so interesting.
It is.
One thing I will say is that, I think the thing you were sort of touching on, Brandon, is the idea that there's kind of like the elite. There's like the elite who are like allowed to invest in like trade stocks, and there's like the regular people who aren't, right? There's like that barrier to entry, and that's closing because of stuff where you can like day trade and all these apps like Wealthsimple and Robinhood and all this shit.
Yeah.
Was a whole other thing with market manipulation where Robinhood was like shutting down, so you weren't allowed to buy new stocks, and like because they were trying to fucking stop.
But now a bunch of stocks are going up again because Robinhood was like forced into a corner to like remove the restrictions. Yeah, it's fucking
because
crazy.
you're not allowed to do that. That's market manipulation. But I do think it's funny that all these wealthy people are like, well, why don't the poor people just make better decisions and then they won't be poor? And then all the poor people are like, okay, here's us making better decisions. And they're like, no, you're not allowed to do that. You're poor.
You can't be involved in our stock market. That's for us.
This is for us.
You have to have at least 10 grand to get in here. And that's just for the day pass.
And I do think that's fun. It feels like the French Revolution, like the let them eat cake, like fucking guillotine these motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'll admit, I think there was like a weird fantasization I had where like, and maybe that's not so true anymore, because just kind of thinking about it more and thinking about like what the a stock market really like creates and causes in the system that's kind of toxic amongst it. But like I won't mention any names, but I had a client at work that he's like, I don't know, the same age as my parents, and he's retired. Like, he retired early, and he worked in like gold his whole life, and he's a geoengineer, like a project manager. So he'll like go up north and like help them with like designing these like huge like mining things. And like there's a bunch of huge companies in gold, right? There's like these giant companies where all they do is they set up these giant excavation sites to find more gold. And obviously things like gold will always go up in value because there's always less and less of it, right? Like we're always like there's not an infinite amount of gold in the earth, right? So I mean, obviously none of it's disappearing anywhere either. People just have the gold, but they're never going to find more. So the value always goes up, but he retired early, and essentially all he does is he wakes up each morning for like and like goes to on the stock market for like 2 hours and just like moves some money around, invests here, takes some money out there, blah blah, and then like that's it. And that's all he does at like 52 or whatever. 53. And I'm like, that sounds great. that sounds fantastic. And then he like, for instance, he's like a huge guitar player now, so all he does is just like play guitar like all the time and hang out with his kids and like all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, that sounds great. I'd love to do that at 52. Well, that sounds fantastic. But yeah,
it's just bonkers because like money is just fake, and we've reached a point where you can just use your money to just get more money.
Yeah.
Like humans invented money to be like as a way to like
trade,
translate like goods and services
value
into like
and
a universal currency so we can trade with anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
And we have reached the point where money is now like its own entity that you can just use your money to make more money.
Yeah. Like
Which,
I'll give you
it literally defeats the purpose of money.
I'll give you 10 loaves of bread for a chicken, and then you go, I don't have a chicken, but I have this bill here that's worth a chicken. So like you can have this and then go get a chicken.
Exactly.
I would like one iPhone, please. It's like, okay, fine, sure, here's money. I would
Here's
like the
my chickens.
concept of the company that makes iPhones, please. And I would like to buy 30% of the concept of that company and then sell that
and
for
then
money.
sell that 30% to make
and
money.
then use that money and put it in a bank, and that money just creates
It
more
just
money
makes more money.
by me doing nothing.
It's absurd to me. It's absolutely absurd.
It's pretty funny.
And like cryptocurrency is a good like a modern day representation of that because we just made up a new money.
Yeah,
We
just
just-
you.
Hey, it takes a long time for this computer to make this algorithm, so let's ascribe value to that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then now it's like, oh, it takes like 700,000 computers a year to make one of these, so it's worth a lot, right?
Cryptocurrencies are weird because, like, again, I do not know enough about economics and like what actual currency holds in the greater circle of things. But like for instance, like the last month of Trump's presidency, his office like declared like these two different cryptocurrencies as just like null and void. Like they're just like they're not worth anything. They just said like we're not going to accept this cryptocurrency. And a buddy of mine lost $1,000, and a friend of his lost like 50 grand. Because they just said this currency is worth nothing.
Yep.
And they just lost the money. The stock of that currency just plummeted.
And I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to do that. Because if everybody else just decided, no, it is though. We decided that it is. Like you can't just say it's. That's like if I was just like, money. I just don't want Canadian dollars. They're just not. I just won't be accepting Canadian. Everybody else is like, I don't give a fuck if you're accepting Canadian dollars. I can still go buy an iPhone, you asshole.
Your credits are no good.
Your Republic credits will do fine. No, they won't.
No, they
do
won't. Yeah. Also, before we get on to economics in Star Wars makes no sense because why the fuck would he not accept someone on the planet of Tatooine is going to the Republic eventually.
Dude, it makes total sense. Whatever public currency is tracked, if it's traced, and you're in the middle of the Outer Rim, that's all criminal.
It's like little gems, though.
No? Republic currency, I'm pretty sure, is digital.
Yeah, I thought it was digital.
It's
Watch the Clone Wars.
well, there's no way at the time that Qui-Gon Jinn is running around with like a pocket full of little gems. He's clearly gonna transfer him some money from some
Yeah,
fucking
there's no fucking way.
account.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
No.
I'm pretty
credits.
sure Republic
I'm looking
credits
it
are
up.
digital. If they aren't, they have like it's just like us. Like we can have it digital or we can have it in paper.
Yeah, there's no way that there isn't a digital version of currency in Star Wars. I don't believe that.
In The Mandalorian, they have all those physical currencies that he just
That's
like
true,
physically puts on the
Mandalorian,
table, but none of those are Republic credits.
Those are credits.
I mean,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm
the credits,
telling
but-
you, in Clone Wars, they use credits and they're
But
like rocks.
it 100% makes sense why Watto doesn't want Republic credits. In my opinion, it 100% makes sense. He's on Tatooine that's controlled by the Hutts. You think the Hutts give a shit about the currency of the core systems?
Do you think the Russian mob would turn down American dollars?
Probably.
No!
Well, it depends on how they get it. It depends on how they get it.
I mean, yeah.
Is it wired? Is it hard cash?
I don't know.
Is it an e-transfer?
I mean, they're not going to e-transfer it.
Here's a
but,
check.
Like, oh my god.
I'm serious.
I'm kill you.
I was Sean on this one. I do think that it's digital, but I still think that Watto would want the money.
Yes. Even if it was digital. I don't think it
Yes.
is, but even if it was digital.
But it
you'd
might be
still take
more
the
of a
money.
hassle for Watto to exchange that currency or spend it because no one else also accepts that currency
Who
on
the
Tatooine.
fuck's gonna come with a Naboo starfighter the next time? Like, you gonna take what you can get? You're broke, dude. You got 2 slaves on a planet full of rich people.
I think Watto's doing fine.
I don't think Watto's doing fine at all because we come back after he loses and he's fucking full at Baroque.
Yeah, because he gambled anyway. He didn't get anything from it. He just lost.
Because he
Income.
makes bad money decisions, like not taking the Republic credits. Instead, he gambled and lost when he could have just had money. Watto's a fucking idiot.
But
Stand by
Watto
that,
Watto got
100%.
tricked by Qui-Gon, though.
Yeah, because he's an idiot. Yeah, Jedi mind trick. I'm a Jedi. Shut up, dude. Take the credits.
Shut
Give me
up.
the goods, services, easy. Make it simple. But he has to be like, no. I'm
Make
gonna,
it simple. Do
I'm
the
gonna
money.
we're gonna do it on the pod race. If I win, I get the
Do it
ship.
on the pod
I
race.
mean,
If I lose, you get the mother.
I'm not
then the
saying
boy.
Watto's not an idiot, but I think it makes sense that he didn't want it.
No. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make no
All right,
sense.
here's a question though, Sean.
More credits. What's up?
After the Empire was destroyed, why did the New Republic demilitarize?
Oh my god, no.
Why the fuck did you do that? Why the fuck did
Why
you do
did
that?
you- that?
I don't know, Kelly. I don't know. World, because I'm trying to make the point that world building in Star Wars is bad. It's all bad, and none of it makes any sense. It's all like, where did the fucking First Order come from? We'll never know because there's no world build because it doesn't matter. It's not
Hey.
important.
Why, when he's trying to hide and not be a Jedi, does Obi-Wan apparently he changes his name, but he keeps wearing the traditional robes of the Jedi,
Well, let me ask that
which is
question.
apparently just what people wear on
Yeah,
Tatooine.
apparently, because like Luke is wearing the exact same thing. He like
True.
shows up and he's like, "Whoa, boy, Jedi!"
It's almost like writing fiction is hard and covering all your bases and doing all the world building is difficult.
It's almost like you need to have a plan if you're gonna go back like 30 years in your.
It's
world
almost
and
like the
talk about
world
it.
in the universe doesn't exist.
It doesn't. It
And it's
really
just
doesn't.
a fantasy. And it's just about laser swords and ships going pew pew.
Yeah, and
Laser
that's
sword.
fine. But people
Laser.
try to be like, this makes sense, and then I have to tell them that Watto taking the currency would have been the most logical conclusion. But George is like, we need plot to happen.
We need plot, Sean. Now you get it. We need
See,
plot
there
to
you
happen.
go.
That's why
I
I don't
mean,
like it. It's
We
just
need
for the
to
sake
spend
of the plot.
45
I
minutes
mean-
on a pod race.
Okay, let's see. Hold up. Let's put it this way. So if I have someone come to work and they have an Amex card, I can accept it, but I tell them no because we don't want it.
That's fine.
Why is that fine?
Okay, Brandon, I'm coming in with American dollars paper to you. Would you say no, or would you just be like, we'll take them on par?
I would say no.
You'd say no to the American dollar at your store
Yeah.
on par.
Yeah,
you're-
because then
okay,
I have to go to the bank and exchange that, and I don't get paid to do that.
You're a fucking liar. You would not do that. I'm gonna buy this guitar
I'm-
here for $800, but I only have American.
I probably wouldn't accept it.
Then I'll go to the next store and buy a different guitar for $800.
Okay, that's fine. I'm the
That's a
only music
bad
store in Deep Cove.
You made a bad music deal. Bad.
It's more effort to go and then exchange the currency.
On par? You make like 30% on that guitar.
I don't get that money.
You don't. Sure, but your business does. You're Watto in this situation. You realize that, right? You're Tyler. You're the company owner.
Who am I? Am I myself or am I Watto? Or am I Tyler?
I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Zack Snyder's Justice League is going to be 4 hours long.
That's
Yeah, because he's not doing a mini series.
Comes
Don't
out on
really
March 18th.
Care.
Because he was gonna do a 4 episode like mini series, and now it's just a movie.
Yeah.
Also, the DC universe is fucked up because apparently a bunch of people are racist, just like they were on Lucasfilm with Star Wars. It's great.
Wow.
Well, apparently
All these black
I think,
actors getting pushed around.
I think once all of Ray Fisher's story. I was like trying to read that, but like the story about Ray Fisher's like allegations and stuff is really hard to decipher because it seems like the investigations are ongoing. All I know is that Ray Fisher, I'm pretty sure, is out now. Like he's not gonna be around anymore as Cyborg.
Huh. Sucks.
Well, they I think the only thing they announced is that he was out of the Flash.
Yeah, I just know that he basically came out and said there's like an executive producer or something at WB.
Yeah.
And he basically said like, I'm not gonna be in any film that his name is attached to. Like I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Apparently he also had issues with Joss Whedon, but I couldn't figure out exactly what those were. Because it was like a lot of articles that like talked around the issue and didn't really like have anything about his specific allegations.
I believe it. There's enough people who don't get like fucking like Joss Whedon, so
Oh yeah. 100%.
And I
don't doubt it.
like I don't think this guy has any reason to like put his career on the line like that unless it was real. You know what I mean? Like all he's doing is potentially hurting his career. So unless he really believes in this and it's really honest, he has no reason to.
I mean, hey, it gets easier to do it when you see people like John Boyega doing the same thing.
Absolutely. I have nothing but respect for actors who are willing to do that. 100%. But it's funny. They announced a bunch of posters. They showed off like a bunch of posters for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and one of them is like the Justice League symbol, like carved of stone, but like made into like rubble, and it's like all dusty and like broken and stuff. And all the people online are just talking about how like you can't hype up like this sad like the Justice League are in peril and in danger when you don't have a Justice League yet, dude. You can't do Civil War before you do the Avengers. Like,
But they did.
But they did.
And they're gonna do it again.
But
they're
they
gonna
didn't
do it a second time. It's really
just give me Flashpoint, reset the whole fucking universe, start again.
Start again.
Just give me the Pattinson Batman.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Robat Bat and Bat.
Rod Pat Bat Bat.
Robat Bat.
Rod Bat Pattinson.
Robat Pattinson.
What?
I am stoked for his movie. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I very much
I'm
like
not
it.
stoked for any more superhero movies at all.
Well, you're not a real fan.
No, not anymore. No. I'm burned. I think I'm burned out.
Funny enough, looking at the list of superhero movies that we are getting sometime soon, that is like the only one I actually care about because like, it's like, yeah, he's dressed in a bat suit, but it's more like a weird like noir detective film looking thing. Like, I think that's the crazy thing about Batman is it can kind of be done in so many different like storytelling forms. That like I usually get excited when someone takes a new take on it, right? Like if you took every Batman film that we've gotten and then including the aesthetic of this new trailer, none of them are alike. Not a single one. They are so fucking different. Everything from like the 1960s Batman to the Schumacher Batmans and to Burton Batmans to the Nolans, like they're all so different. So different.
It's like
Yeah,
Shakespeare. You can kind of tell it anyway.
Yeah.
You can do Macbeth in Gangland, Chicago.
Batman
You heard it?
Shakespeare.
You heard it, I was gonna say you heard it here first, folks. Batman is like Shakespeare.
Batman's like Shakespeare.
and Sean said it.
Sean said it.
I
Well,
agree.
I feel like we might have talked about this before, but I could be wrong. We talk about a lot of shit.
We do.
And I don't know if it was on a podcast or not, so just briefly break it up. Something that I find interesting about, I think Batman in particular, is like you were saying, Brandon, like how different he has been at different times. Other characters haven't had quite as severe, like they all change over the years, you know, like everybody was edgier in the 90s. Everybody was like more dystopian in the mid 2000s, but and like the 2010s, but usually there's a bit more of like a steady through line. Even just the differences of Batman between like Batman who is like this hardcore like borderline psychotic like vigilante versus like the super heroic detective with like a sidekick and who joins the Justice League.
Yeah.
Like that's already two like very different versions that are very, very like important and sort of like quote unquote core to Batman.
Yeah, I think Batman is just easier to digest in different genres. Right? Like when I think of Superman, there's kind of only one genre I can really think of him being in, and that is like the superhero genre. Like he's the dude who saves the day and saves planet Earth. And like, yeah, you can write that differently. Like you have your arcs where like he has to deal with his anger and his rage and like dealing with like not just fucking killing people all the time. And then you're just average, just like, hey, going and fucking just killing the big Brainiac, whatever the fuck shows up on planet Earth, and dealing with that like that idea of power and how to control it and all that kind of stuff. But Batman, you could also do that arc with, because he's just like this fucking weird, badass, super strong, rich boy. You could do like the control of power thing, or he could be like a detective and do crime novels, or he can do like a thriller horror thing because like he's creepy and kills people and like beats people up in the night. And like, right, like there's just so many different genres you can do with Batman that I think are digestible. And his like, I don't know, to be fair, his costume is easier to digest in different genres too. When you take Superman, he's just red and blue and gold, and you're like, yeah, we're gonna do a dark detective version of Superman. You're like, what? Okay, sure,
I
go
mean,
for it.
New 52.
But I
What about
also
you,
found
Detective,
that
he was an asshole.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I
exactly.
also found
That's what I'm
that
saying.
because
Same thing.
that's where Smallville actually did really good, because they did the story of him before
He was Superman.
was Superman, right?
Yeah.
So
Superman in jeans.
yeah,
Superman
Everybody
Jeans.
loves Superman in jeans.
yeah, but like it wasn't the classic. It was like, hey, yeah, America's most superpowered hero, and then like he's off fucking, I don't know, fighting the Africa or something like that because he can fly.
Fighting-
supersonic
fighting
speed.
Af-
Fighting Africa!
This week on Superman.
Right,
Africa
because like he's
lands
like,
a
yeah, I can like
cyclone.
fly around the globe. You know, I can make time fucking go backwards. 'Cause that's a thing.
That was dumb. We don't talk
Africa,
about
Batman beating up.
But also there's like,
continents
yeah, there's
is
also
a
like
really
cyberpunk Batman and like different like time pieces, right? You have like steampunk Batman, you have like Victorian Batman, you have and like I feel like if you took most of their other heroes and did that, it doesn't translate as well.
Batman
Like
could be
Victorian Superman?
That'd be awesome, actually.
That'd
It's
be dope,
weird.
actually.
It's
I
weird
wanna
though.
see
I don't
him
know.
fight
I feel
Dr.
like
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yo,
Yes.
yes.
I feel like it'd be strange though. I feel like it'd be strange. It's easier to see the Batman. Like if you just took Batman and everything about him and just put him in Victorian era, fine, right? But if you took Superman, I feel like you'd have to make some
Or
alterations.
is he gonna get a plane? Oh, it would be like a Wright Brothers plane.
It'd be the
thing,
Wright
like,
Brothers plane,
actually
yeah,
really fun.
exactly.
Or like a Da Vinci like wing machine.
He does. Oh, actually,
Batman's,
he.
like on the fucking bike.
I think he does have like Da Vinci style Victorian like wings in one of the old school versions of him. I think.
Yeah,
I
wings are
can't
cool, but like I mean like the bike, like the
The
propeller.
actual
Yeah,
pedal
yeah,
that-
but very
yeah.
similar, like with the frame and everything, and he has to do this to get them to flap, and like, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Yeah.
You have to use giant lamps throughout Venice to gain height, like in Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
That's fucking dumb.
Yes.
I hate that.
What?
And also, I think him more than any other DC hero, less of his rogues gallery is like otherworldly,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
Victorian
it makes it
Joker
easier
would be actually really
to,
cool.
yeah.
You
And
make
so
him
it's
the mayor.
it's easier to then also take his rogues gallery and like put it in all those different genres, right? When like, okay, Brainiac in a Victorian setting, like why? Like what? Like what would be the point, right? Like it would
the
just
same.
be Victorian London or Victorian era Earth, and then Brainiac is just Brainiac because he's an alien. He comes from another planet,
Exactly.
and he'd still be Brainiac.
I mean, I
Right?
feel like you could do something fun with that if you take like, if there was like any concepts of extraterrestrials or other things that like the Victorian era
Oh, yeah.
had, and translate that in. Like, I think you could still do something like that.
If you
no,
really
you
took
can-
your
you
time.
can literally just take Joker or Riddler and just
Yeah.
transplant them into another era, and it's like
Yeah.
fine.
Bane,
Yeah.
even.
If you really fucking took your time, you could very easily do like an eldritch horror version of like Superman villains or something. Like I think that'd be really fucking cool.
That'd be cool.
For sure.
That'd be fucking
But again, I think that takes more
Superman
work to
fights
kind
Cthulhu.
of yeah. I think that would take more work to see and go, oh, that's cool. I like that concept, right? Like obviously we're like, again, we're not the average consumer. Like we surround ourselves by this stuff all the time. So the idea of taking this other thing we like, Eldritch Horror, Cthulhu and shit, and putting it with Superman, you're like, hell yeah, let's see that fucking happen. That's dope. But your average Superman fan is gonna see that and go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? Why is he wearing a top hat?
Well, Batman would punch Cthulhu once and Cthulhu would pop.
Yeah.
Because Cthulhu doesn't exist.
Yes.
So he would punch
it's
the
weird.
air.
No, but like that's literally what happens in Call of Cthulhu. Like the boat rams into Cthulhu and Cthulhu pops and disappears.
Interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah, because Cthulhu doesn't exist. Cthulhu's a sleeping, dreaming god.
Superman would have the top hat, just like what's his name from Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
and then he'd go
like Jacob Fry.
inside a what would be the equivalent of a phone booth. He would go inside a booth
Police box.
and put his top hat in his ass. and then become Superman.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I never get tired of superhero things, obviously.
I know. Yes.
And I'm stoked for just all the more Marvel movies and shows, and just give it all to me. I want it.
Yeah.
Give me more.
Yeah.
Give me
I
more.
I'll end up watching them, but like I don't know. My hype is significantly died. Like Wonder Woman came out, and I'm like,
Same.
and like I don't know, all the other ones
And
have come out.
I don't get me wrong. I'm not excited for this Justice League, but I really want to see it.
So do I.
I am just so curious.
I admittedly am someone who's liked not necessarily the movies themselves, but just like some of the just like artistic choices and everything. Like I was like, there were like shots I really liked in Batman vs Superman. Batman vs Superman is a fucking trash film, but I'm very curious to see this Justice League, because Justice League was a very weird movie. It was really weird because it was like, that was obviously shot by Zack Snyder, this was obviously shot by Joss Whedon, and they just mushed it together. It's just so strange. So I'm really curious to see what this Zack Snyder version of Justice League is. And I'm also a big fan of the Watchmen film, the original Watchmen film. So I've always generally enjoyed Zack Snyder's aesthetic, but it doesn't always serve the purpose very well.
I also
He makes pretty movies.
he makes pretty movies. I'm never gonna say that he don't make pretty movies. I just like Zack Snyder just doesn't like superheroes. Like he's just a weird guy to be in charge of these because he just doesn't like them. He thinks that like Batman not killing people is unrealistic. He thinks that like heroic superheroes are like childish. Like he thinks Watchmen is like the superhero comic when it was entirely designed to be a deconstruction of superheroes.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't get it. He doesn't like them, and that's fine. But he should not be in charge of the Justice League.
To be honest, the one here I kind of like him dealing with is Superman, because Superman is that like ideal superhero. So if they're going to deconstruct one of the superheroes that way, I'd love to be deconstructed on Superman more than any other hero if they're going to do that. But other than that, I don't really care.
Kelly's face.
I know he doesn't like it at all.
I think we should make Superman evil again, to be honest.
Yeah,
I feel like we've had enough good Superman in media. We just need evil.
The thing is like, you might not like that narrative on Superman, but I still think it's like an interesting thing to like do and see.
But here's
right?
my
like,
problem is that yes, I agree that the idea of like a narrative where you're like deconstructing Superman is interesting. That is true. The problem is they were trying to build like a tentpole like cinematic universe around this.
Yeah.
And for that's not the time to deconstruct Superman.
Oh, no. I'm not saying he did a good job in that.
League around your deconstructed Superman, you build Justice League around Superman.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they
that's
did a
the
good job that it did well, but kind of in a similar light that you know, The Last Jedi was like a shitty film, but you can still like appreciate the looking at it a certain way and doing that, and like, yeah, okay, it didn't serve the like ongoing plot what was happening, so like why the fuck did you do that? But I'd love to see that director or that person like do a piece that's just on that. Like I want to, like Zack Snyder, do a Superman film that it talks about this, that questions that, but don't make it part of your MCU style like fucking giant Justice League cinematic universe, right? That's my thing, right? So I enjoy Zack Snyder's take on that, but yeah, again, I don't really think it works for what the hell they've been doing.
Well, they haven't been doing anything very well at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's also weird because obviously Zack Snyder stepped away, and then Joss Whedon sort of took off the reins and finished the movie, and then there was the reaction to it, right? It came out and people had said their piece, and people have endlessly talked about Justice League. So what's interesting is that like we're never gonna get like Zack Snyder's original vision, because now it's like Zack Snyder with the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah.
Right? Like this will never be the movie he was originally trying to make before Joss Whedon stepped in. This is Zack Snyder now retroactively making a new version of it. It'll probably still be closer to his original vision than Joss Whedon's movie.
Yeah.
But there's also no way the original cut was going to be 4 hours.
Yeah.
I think
Before all this craziness, they never would have let him get away with that. So
yeah. I think my bigger issue is like, to be fair, this is a very unique scenario because Zack Snyder had to drop out because his daughter passed away. So like it was something he was gonna have complete artistic control and integrity on, but then obviously shit fucking hit the fan. So I kind of get it, but the thing I hate is it feels like almost what happened with The Last Jedi 2. It's like a bunch of fans going like, "We didn't like it. Give us the better version. Give it to me now." And then it's like, "Yes, sure, okay, yeah, why not?" Right? Like, in my opinion, it's the same as The Rise of Skywalker, right? It's like everyone fucking complained about Justice League because they didn't like Joss Whedon's take on it. They're like, "Zack Snyder, give us the real one. Give us the footage that Joss Whedon cut. Like, fuck you." And then everyone's like, "We didn't like The Last Jedi. Fix it." And so Rise of Skywalker was just a giant Band-Aid. And it's just like, stop it. It's not for you. It doesn't, like, just it happened. You don't like it. Move on. Move on. And it really irritates me because, like, sure, like, I'll shake my fist to the wind and just man shakes his fist to the sky and just like
Old man yells at cloud.
get mad about like certain things, but I'm not gonna try and expect them to like fix it. Like, I would never expect that. Like, sure, doing like someone else doing it down the road a few years from now, sure, why not? But I don't need an immediate fix to the shit that I didn't like right now. I don't need a fix right now. It's stupid.
I do think this is a weird situation just because, like you said, he said the way, like,
Yes.
he didn't actually finish the movie his way, so that's definitely makes it a little bit different, but I see what you're saying.
It's hard to say without knowing what Zack Snyder's feelings are about it, right? Like, if Zack Snyder did legitimately want to come back and like do it justice, no pun intended, then hey, all the power to you. Like, you were supposed to be the one who did it. But if it was just a reaction, like if Warner Brothers then like, "Hey Zach, you should do it because the money said so," that irritates me.
You know, Brennan, I gotta say, with some of your jokes, you are just in a league of your own.
Nice, thank you.
I hate this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just think the whole situation's weird. I hope that we're kind of done with this particular iteration on the DC extended universe. Like, I hope that, like, you know, Zack Snyder gets to complete his thing that he was hired to do, make a movie, and then we're done with that. Because
Then move on.
oh boy,
I
I saw a
don't think
comment.
we are.
I saw a comment that was really funny. It's like, I can't believe Marvel has like, we've gotten to like Endgame. It was like between like Civil War to Endgame, I think. Between like when BVS came out was around Civil War. But, like, we've gone from like Civil War to Endgame, and DC's still trying to make the Justice League.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because
It's I don't know why it's so hard for them to understand. Just like rip off the formula.
Well, they're so convinced. Like, I feel like WB is just like so convinced that like people don't like just like superheroes for some reason.
Yeah.
Like with Superman, they're like, we have to make him gritty. It's like the people who like Superman has survived this long being an optimistic, hopeful, brightly colored character because that is actually popular.
Yeah.
Even though you don't think it is.
Yeah.
I love it because they're probably going to these fucking like table reads of the script, and then they're like have a focus group there, and the focus group's like, "I don't like how Superman is just good at everything because I'm an average Joe and I want Batman to be the star."
Superman's a god. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have that guy who's like, Superman's my Jesus. I want to.
Don't do it. Yeah, damn it. Damn it. I heard it coming and I didn't want it.
Oh my god.
They also were like, I think they were like really worried that like the superhero thing was going to end. So they were like, we got to do Justice League now before it's like, it's like Marvel's like, man, we don't care. We're making movies for the next 12 years and they're going to be popular.
I also think that I think I believe that it definitely had to become more digestible for it to be more popular in pop culture. And I think that's what like everything from like the Tim Burton Batmans and then up to like the Raimi Spider-Mans and the X-Men and like Christopher Nolan's Batman like kind of helped do. They kind of like, it's like fit into the aesthetic of the time, but made superheroes kind of digestible. And then that kind of like opened the door for I feel like Iron Man and some of the just more slightly more honest superhero films. And now that people like care for those themes and stuff like that they now will just take it in whatever fucking taking all the eye candy they want from these superhero films. But I feel like, I don't think Warner Brothers feels that they can get away with that. And also, I don't think they believe that their characters are unique enough in order to sell themselves. When, in my opinion, like DC's roster is so different from Marvel's. Right? Because Marvel's is always usually very like tech-based or supernatural, and they're always usually very like street level most of the time, like superheroes, right? Like there's a reason why the Avengers exist is because then they deal with larger threats. But you have your main hero is Superman, man. Like he flies to the sun to regenerate himself and can change time by rotating around the earth a bunch of times. Like
I told you, we don't talk about that.
Talk about it here.
But like straight up, like DC's heroes are like god tier superheroes. Like they're insane, right? So the types of stories and the types of films you can do with them are so different that I don't think you need to constantly make them like edgy and like make their aesthetic totally different and make them sell. Like I would watch a Superman movie like in the world of the MCU, no problem. That'd be fucking dope. I'd fucking love it.
Fight Thanos.
Well, even just look at like the old like Richard Donner, Christopher Reeve Superman. Like those were hugely popular.
Yeah.
And he's crazy powerful, and he's just trying to help out.
Yep.
There's a really good interview with Christopher Reeve where he's talking about Superman, and he says like, I think the thing about Superman that makes him really powerful and really important is that he's a friend. Like you see Superman and you just know that he's a friend. He's somebody you can rely on, and I think everybody's looking for that. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I just think that like that's the core of Superman and why he resonates with people, and why he's so beloved by so many people. And they just refuse to acknowledge that that's just who the character is. Yeah. It's like if Marvel was like, yeah, we're gonna make Iron Man, but Tony Stark is like an ex-mob enforcer, and he has a large rap sheet of previous criminal activities, and like they're just gonna make him like the worst, just like an alcoholic, but he's a drug pusher. And he kidnaps kids, like homeless kids off the street, and gets them addicted to pills.
Jesus fucking Christ.
And then that's Tony Stark. It's like, maybe don't do that.
Well, I'd argue that's why Superman and Spider-Man are like the most beloved. It's like it's their whole thing is that they're just a good guy.
Yeah.
Like with great power comes great responsibility. Like their whole character is that I have crazy powers and I'm just gonna like help that dude down the street.
And if Warner Brothers doesn't think that people like a Boy Scout character, fucking Captain America.
Yeah.
Marvel was like, oh, people don't like a Boy Scout? Fucking hold my beer. And they just made like one of the most beloved like characters in fiction of the last decade.
Yeah.
Oh, and Captain America is arguably way more of a Boy Scout than Superman is. Just because like it's
I don't
like
know,
he
Superman
just
kills people eventually.
They're both
because
up there.
Crazy.
I think they're pretty. Yeah.
But Captain America just like almost literally is a Boy Scout, right? Like he's like a military kid from like the 40s. He is a Boy Scout.
And they explore it in interesting ways, right? Like the thing is, you can still explore that. Like Winter Soldier is a great example of that, because it's like, what do you do when the Boy Scout realizes that like he doesn't live in a Boy Scout's world anymore, essentially, right? But they started off with just he's just a good guy, and he's such a good guy that people just gave him superpowers because he's just such a good guy.
He's such a good guy.
and we still fucking love him because he's just so goddamn heroic and lovable.
Why do you want to give him superpowers? Because he's got a good heart.
He's just a good fucking dude.
But
Right.
like, will he survive the procedure? No, but then we use strong.
yeah.
We start with good heart, we move to strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Oh my god.
That's about right.
But yeah, DC, man.
Yeah.
Bad.
Dick
Bad
comics.
You know what? We'll just have Batman dodge an Omega Beam. It's
Let's
fine.
do it. I love that. I think
So
Batman should be in charge of everything.
Terrible.
Batman's the leader of the Justice
Just like
He's the
Batman
leader of
dodged
this.
a mega beam.
I will say that it did make me happy seeing the version of Justice League movie that we got, the like Joss Whedon, Zack Snyder weird monster version, when Batman's like just fucking useless in the final fight because
Just
it's
swinging
against-
around.
It's against like this super powered space alien and all of his little demon dudes, and Batman's like, "Yep, I'm here too, guys." I thought that was very funny.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's very good.
Because like Batman is a detective and he can be like a strategist and he can help the team. He can be the guy in the chair, but he should not be on the ground at the same
Fighting
time
aliens.
as Superman and Wonder Woman and the Flash and Aquaman and Cyborg. They're just on another fucking level.
I feel like he can keep up with the Flash.
Any-
He dodged an Omega Beam.
Any threat that is like credible enough to need Superman and Wonder Woman to help out with will just completely annihilate Batman.
Yeah. Also, it would just completely negate Batman's any help at all whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. But yeah.
That
just
is
made me
one of the
happy.
weird things is that like the MCU doesn't really have a character that's very obviously outmatched, but Batman's just there with the Justice League, and you're like, why are you here? What's going on?
Yeah, like arguably you've got your Black Widows and your Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
They're like closest to
But
that.
there's two of them.
But there's
They
two
work
of them.
together.
True of them.
And
But also like most of the members of the Avengers are just like highly skilled. Like most of them aren't superhuman except for Captain America and Hulk, and even Captain America would argue like, sure,
And
yeah, he's a little bit
Thor.
stronger.
And Thor.
Oh, and
Pretty
Thor,
much
yeah,
Iron
Thor.
Man because of
and
technology.
like yeah, basically
Exactly.
Iron Man
Yeah.
because of the suit.
Yeah, but Iron Man uses his skill to make the suit.
Yeah, but like in terms of like being in the field, he counts as like a superpowered
As a
entity.
True.
superpower, yeah.
But
Right.
but like I'd argue, I personally don't put Captain America in that category because like yeah, sure, he's like a bit stronger and a bit faster, but as far as that, he's still just like a dude, like on the battlefield, right?
He can run as fast as a car. He ran
Yeah.
pretty fast.
He can run real fast.
You remember Wolf?
He can
Okay.
be anywhere he needs to be.
The point is he
And
can
punch
take a hit.
anyone.
He can
needs
take
to.
take a hit a lot better than like Black Widow or Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True,
You hit
but
Hawkeye,
like,
Hawkeye's dead.
but it's not Batman to Superman difference though,
No, not at all.
right?
But I
Like
think,
nowhere
I think
near,
that's
right?
in there when you have like,
Superman's
Thor to Black Widow is getting.
Yeah, it's pretty much
Pretty
how
close.
But even
yeah.
Thor isn't bulletproof.
I don't know if we've seen him get shot.
I
in,
don't know if we've seen that
movies.
shot.
I feel like he's.
But that's just not in his power roster, right? He's not bulletproof. Sure, he wears like
yeah, but that's like
armor.
that's
You're
arguing
telling-
like how a certain writer writes a character, like whatever. I think in terms of like the ability to like summon a storm of lightning that like fries an entire like portion of this invading army versus girl with good guns is like
True.
I think it's pretty much on that level.
Yeah.
But also Thor's a brick. Like here. Right? Like he's a fucking dumbass, right?
True.
When like Black Widow is like a fucking espionage, like fucking infiltration expert.
And that's the thing, right? Like they're all gonna have different times when they're useful. Like sure, the final battle thing she may not show up the most, but having
think-
spy stuff is still cool.
I think like a good
But yeah.
comparison would be
That's what
like,
Batman
Black
should be
Widow to like Captain Marvel.
yeah, Captain Marvel
especially-
is definitely yeah.
especially when we get to like by the time we get to Endgame and like the number
Yeah.
of people who are there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd argue
Because,
Captain
like-
Marvel's role is to just fill that Superman spot. It's just like, oh yeah, she can do
Basically.
everything. Like she's just this fucking powerhouse.
Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about super geniuses in the DC roster because you've got Batman and Superman can think faster than everyone, and so can Flash, and Cyborg is a robot man with brain power, and Wonder Woman's not dumb. So like they don't have like a Hulk or a Thor just like we're here to punch things.
True.
Everyone's like, and I'm super smart, and I can do this, and I can do that, and I can rotate around the world until it turns back time.
You don't
Yeah.
talk about that.
like when Hulk is Hulk, he's not fucking solving problems or anything, right? He's just
No,
a
he's
big
just
fucking
smashing.
brick house. Thor is also just a brick. Captain America usually doesn't know what the fuck he's doing because he's literally man at a time and doesn't understand fucking anything. Like my favorite scene in fucking Avengers is like, it looks like it runs on electricity. Like, I love that line.
Everyone's like, well, you're not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Right?
It runs on some sort of electricity. He's like,
Right,
"You're
so
the
it's
wrong
like
man
then
for
you
the
have like Hawkeye and Black Widow who could assess the situation way better than probably a lot of those characters could.
I
And
mean,
even Iron
in terms
Man,
of strategy, Captain America is the best. That's like
Yeah.
one of his things.
But like,
Yeah, like
Hawkeye
military
combat
strategy.
Hero powers though.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
combat strategy, I think Cap excels more. But like,
Yeah.
I guess out of like general knowledge, probably not. Then
yeah, definitely.
right? And then like Tony's probably fucking in his fucking own head half the goddamn time. So unless he's talking about himself or talking about the tech he specifically deals with, he's also a fucking brick sometimes. And you're just like, shut the fuck up, we don't care, right?
Yeah.
So there isn't that contrast where like, yeah, you have like Batman who's like, well, with science I know that, and Superman's like, I just use X-ray vision. The problem solved.
Also,
but I
people
knew that
forget
with
like,
science.
Superman's also like really smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like in the comics, again,
Yeah.
this is like the DCU is a different thing, but like he's
Yeah.
just a very smart man.
But even like in the DCU, I wouldn't there are
not
moments
stupid by any means.
there are moments where Tony or Thor or Hulk make like dumb decisions and you're like, you're a fucking idiot, right? But Superman doesn't have those moments in DCU, even in the films, right? He's just like a
doesn't really
dude,
have
right?
character flaws.
You could have just stopped at character.
Doesn't really have character.
But like,
That's it.
but that's true of all the fucking.
He misses Kevin Costner. So bad.
But like that's the problem with the DCUs. They don't like the MCU focused on character flaw a lot, and that propelled drama was whether or not the character would overcome their obsession or overcome their neuroses or overcome their paranoia. But you don't have that in DCU. It's just, can I punch Zod through the wall before he burns people in half with laser beams? The answer is no. I gotta break
No.
his neck. So
Yeah,
like,
exactly,
there's no,
yeah.
and they're like, that's the flaw, and it's like, is it though? Like that seems like bad character flaw. Like, he didn't have a flaw. They tried to give him one in Man of Steel, which is like, I'm a secret boy, childhood trauma, but my dad, because my dad is a fucking asshole, right? Like, anyway. And then you move on to Batman vs Superman, and their flaw is they're both fucking stupid and don't have
Martha!
a conversation.
Martha!
Our moms have the same name. Want to be best friends? Okay, let's kill Doomsday.
Did we just become best friends? Yep. Oh shit, you died.
It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that like the entire beginning of the setup for that film for Batman v Superman is to like justify them fighting each other, and by the time you get to the fight, it still doesn't feel justified. Because Superman has no need to fight because he can literally just keep flying up there, and instead of just keep saying like, listen, you need to listen to me, listen to me, just say the thing you need to say, man. Stop telling him to listen and just fucking say it. Just say, hey, Lex captured my mom and he's making us fight. There we go. You did it. If Batman has a reason to not believe that, then you create interesting character drama. But if your fucking main character just keeps going, you need to listen to me. You need to listen to me. You need to listen to me. Then you're not writing the fucking scene.
Yeah.
Batman also kicked his fucking ass though.
Like
Totally killed him.
to be fair, the concept that like Batman is the original superhero on Earth, and then Superman showing up causes him to come out of retirement, and then like other heroes to like show up and like other threats like that. Love that. I love that a lot. I think that's really, really cool because Batman is like this closer, grounded style of vigilante who's like this old man, and then like Superman shows up and he's like, well, there's literally no one else on planet Earth to deal with this, so I guess I have to try and do something. I think that's really, really cool. I really like the concept, but it wasn't good though. Wasn't good. Also, the Batman murdered people, so that's the thing.
That's
Well, I don't know if he so much murdered them as
the
caused
car-
their death.
The
He
car murdered
definitely-
somebody. He didn't kill them.
He didn't kill them. The guns in the car shot the wreck into a fireball. That he didn't like murder them specifically.
The fire killed them later. But
There was
he didn't
I can't remember where it
kill
was.
them.
There was a while ago where like someone put together like a fucking series of photos that was just a bunch of superheroes who don't kill, but like absolutely destroying and beating the shit out of people in comic books. And it was like Batman, Spider-Man, Superman, like it was just like a plethora of heroes, just absolutely just like, oh, but I can break your jaw though. It's fucking awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what the problem is. A broken jaw is not death.
I love that. I do like that scene in Dark Knight, Batman Begins. One of them. He's like, word of advice, fall from this height, wouldn't kill me. I'm counting on it. He just drops him and breaks both of his legs.
Dark Knight.
Yeah.
That's Dark Knight. It's Falcone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so good.
If
It's really
from
good.
one professional to another, pick a better spot. Fall from this wouldn't kill me. And then he drops him.
counting
And then
on
he's
it.
like, okay, well, now that you broke my legs, I guess I'll tell you what you need to know. Why not tell him before he breaks your legs?
Because he doesn't think he's gonna drop him, probably. He doesn't believe he's gonna do it.
Oh.
He's not scared enough. That's what that line is for, Sean. He's
You
not
know
scared
what?
enough.
You know what? I think they would have accepted the Republic credits.
Okay, Sean and I start arguing in the fucking chat.
You fuckers. We're trying to have a podcast here. I can't have you having two different conversations.
Well,
I can
Zoe-
keep up.
Zoe was saying that my Amex point made sense, and then because it costs more to accept Amex, and then Sean's like, well, it wouldn't cost more to use Republic credits, and I was like, how do you know that? How do you know it wouldn't cost
'Cause
more?
why the fuck are we getting that detailed on the Republic credits? We're not. They're
Sean,
just money.
Do you really do you want them to spoon feed every detail to you? You're supposed to infer that the exchange rate or whatever would cost more, that there's fees, that there's some kind of reason he doesn't want it.
I understand that you're supposed to infer, but now that it's a stupid decision, I've elected to ignore it.
But I'm giving you like a real world example
There's
as to why
difference,
I
there's
wouldn't
difference.
accept a
I understand.
currency,
Yes.
and then
But
and
your
then someone in
real-world
Star
example
Wars
doesn't
doesn't
make
accept.
sense to me.
If someone came with Amex, I'd say no.
Amex makes sense because that's a company, not a money. That's a form of payment.
Why
Right?
is
That's
there
not a
Republic credits like
currency.
that?
Because he's talking about literally an entire currency. He's like, hey, the most powerful. Anyway, we're
Maybe
not
he doesn't
getting
have the
into this.
machine to
We're not
accept
getting
it.
into this. We're not getting into this.
Maybe he doesn't have the
It's
Republic credits
Republic
card
credits
swiping
are a thing you
machine.
hand to someone. Watch the Clone Wars.
The fact is, Sean, we don't have enough information, and also Clone Wars didn't exist then.
Also, yeah.
I know, but it's still the credits are still money. They're physical. Just saying. Just saying.
I think Sean's missing the whole entire point here.
No, I'm not. I understand your points. It's just they're bad.
Even if it's a stupid ass point, I've elected to ignore it.
Like,
Oh, well, Batman sucks. Superman's great.
Oh shit! Someone on this forum pointed out that the like credits are not like straight up a currency because that's why they're called credits.
But
So there's some kind of like transaction has to be dealt with either like a broker or like a bank or whatever in order to get the value from Republic credits because it's probably something that's controlled by the Republic.
well.
I'm done. I'm not.
Ah! Yeah!
Wow.
Brandon, they're a little crystal. Watch the Clone Wars.
Yes, they are.
Little crystal.
I mean, okay, you want to know the date that this was posted? On this forum? August 1st, 2001.
Yo!
Oh.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's fucking
awesome.
hilarious.
That's amazing. That's very, very good.
Oh, apparently Hondo at some point says no to Republic credits as well.
Hondo's
And that's
an
in
asshole.
Clone Wars.
Yeah, because Hondo's an idiot. Hondo doesn't make a single good decision.
I feel like Brandon's deep in this rabbit hole, but I have
I
a
am
one more
very
Justice
deep.
League
I
hot
am very
take.
deep.
Hit us with it.
Brandon's D.
It's about like the comics, not necessarily about the films. But I genuinely believe that if these characters were invented now, and if the Justice League was invented now, Batman would not be a member of the Justice League, and he's only a member because of like the legacy and how like iconic Batman is as a character.
Yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was the
No, he'd
second
be-
hero for DC?
Yeah,
Right? Superman first, then Batman, right? So like, yeah, of
True.
course when you make a team up, you're going to use the two original heroes.
No, he would have
Right.
got so popular that they would have just put him in there.
Oh right, of course.
Just like Wolverine with the X-Men. That's how he's the leader. What?
Yeah, it's just like how Superman can, turn back time.
We don't
Turn back
talk
time?
about that.
Yeah, because Kelly, the thing is every time you say that, Superman turns back time to before you say
Exactly.
it, and we forget.
What are you talking about? I've only said it once.
What are you talking about?
What?
What did you say?
What?
What did you say?
Said what once?
Hi everybody, welcome to Stay Indoors, the only podcast on the internet that's on Saturdays now.
Superman turns back time.
Sean, we don't talk about that.
About what?
Hey everybody, welcome to Stay Indoors, the only podcast that's on a Saturday now.
Broadcast?
The only podcast that we poke our cows with.
Because Superman
my
turned
God.
back time.
It's a cattle podcast.
This is a loop, and I don't like it.
Where
Welcome to Stay Indoors.
this is, I'm gonna break out of this fucking loop.
Can't wait for that game. I'm sad I didn't get to pick it because somebody's a fucking asshole. Jack.
Oh yeah, let's do an update on that real quick because someone's
I'm
actually in
winning.
the lead.
The update is I'm winning. Haha.
I didn't even check.
Seriously though, the
So-
update is that I'm winning.
Yes. So currently in the lead is Shamph because Hitman 3 scored an 86 on OpenCritic, and so you received 16 points. And then in last is Jack with -5 points because he counterpicked the medium,
Don't
and
you
the
know?
medium got a 75, and I got
It's
5
golf,
points.
so therefore I'm winning.
Cyber Shadow apparently.
And Kelly's in second with 12, with Cyber Shadow getting an 82 on OpenCritic. Very good. Very good.
February, by the end of the month, Jack will have 2 games out.
I'm very sad with the point discrepancy, but it's fine.
What, that you're losing?
It's fine.
There's still lots of games to come out, dude.
Yeah, like this is
Yeah.
the first game.
Well, yeah, like when Elden Ring comes out, I'm gonna win.
I think I'm gonna win on Elden Ring alone.
Yeah, Robert wins on Elden Ring alone though.
Yeah, dude, that's like a new rule that they added where you can like lock it so you can't drop counter picks, and it fucking changes the game for sure.
Oh
That's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
Brandon,
I'm stoked that Cyber Shadow. I'm stoked Cyber Shadow got good scores for 2 reasons. 1, because it's on my team, and 2, because I just want to play Cyber Shadow and it looks
That's
dope.
fair.
Yeah, I'm excited for a lot of games coming out. Little Nightmares 2, I know is gonna score probably pretty well. What are we? Yeah. It Takes Two is probably gonna plummet.
Why?
It's gonna be good.
Why do you think It Takes Two is gonna plummet?
Just because I counterpicked it.
Oh, you counterpicked it. Oh.
Yeah, and I'm never wrong
Oh yeah, of course it is.
Why did you counterpick It Takes Two? You fucking idiot.
because that developer doesn't really have that great of a track record. Like, A Way Out didn't really do that well.
We were also like struggling for counter picks.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah,
We
it's
were.
Most
And
of
I-
us picked fucking bangers.
And I don't know that it's gonna do that well. Like I could be wrong and could be pleasantly surprised. But I'm planning on getting like a full 30 points from Elden Ring not coming out.
Oh
So
my god.
so it doesn't really matter.
Oh my god. Brandon's gonna make you eat your
Dude,
words.
Brandon's
It
picks
comes out.
are so risky but so big.
Right?
Well, yeah.
I think Monster Hunter Rise is gonna do well though. Previews have been coming out like because people got to play the beta.
Yeah.
I think Monster Hunter Rise was a very good pick.
yeah, Monster Hunter Rise is good, but Zelda's not coming out. Elden Ring's not coming out. Yeah.
I think everything else is coming out, yeah.
And then Kelly picked God of War Ragnarok, which is definitely not coming out.
I had to pick it, dude.
I
Pick it.
want it to come out on the 1st of January 2022.
That's where Sean.
That's when
literally
Elden Ring is
says-
also coming out.
No, those cannot come out at the same time. I'll lose my fucking mind.
That would be awful.
Which one would you play first, Kelly? Which one would you have to play first?
God of War.
Probably God of War.
There's all the spoilers.
It'll be
Because-
quicker.
Yeah, because of story stuff and because it'll be
Yeah.
quicker.
It'll be quicker.
I would want to play Elden Ring so fucking bad, but I would need to play God of War first, probably.
It would be hard, to be honest. What would probably end up happening? No, it wouldn't, because you guys would be busy. I would personally want to like play God of War during the day, and then at night crack up an Elden Ring and like play it with you guys. But you guys are gonna fucking bury yourselves and just finish Ragnarok. And I know that because I've seen it happen.
Most likely.
You are correct, sir.
I'm not getting off Ragnarok. I'm not sleeping until I'm done.
I didn't see you when God of War came out. I saw you to come up and have food and to go, this game fucking rocks, and then you disappear again.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into a game like that in a long time.
You did the same with Red Dead.
Yes, that is true. I did do the same with Red Dead. Which I also really enjoyed. I want to play it again, but I don't.
It's long.
I played
it's
it once.
It's a fucking long game.
It's too long of a game.
It is long, but it's like also nice and it has these moments of quiet.
Okay, I have one other little point for the Watto thing. I have one other point. Okay,
Nope.
so on this post
thanks, guys.
on Reddit,
much does it for today. Thanks
from
for
4 months ago,
check
talking
in next
about
week.
why
We're gonna
Hondo
be
and
on
Watto wouldn't want
Saturday.
Republic credits.
Good times.
The first comment with the most upvote
As
says,
always.
Watto
safe
most
out
likely didn't
there.
want Republic
Love
credits
you.
because he primarily dealt with Tatooine and Hut space, so the Republic credit was useless. Even if there's an exchange, it probably costs more to be worth to exchange the currencies, which is what I said. That's what I said, right? But then he said, a good real life example that I saw was that when I was in India, an American gave a taxi driver like $20 US as a tip since he didn't have any rupees on him. The taxi driver later tried to give it to my dad in exchange for rupees because even though $20 is worth 1,400 rupees, trying to get an exchange wasn't worth the man's time and the hassle of trying to explain where he got $20 without someone thinking he was a thief. His words.
I don't believe strangers on the internet, Brandon. This
Right,
doesn't matter.
right. Oh my God, right? Like we don't have context as to like how people take Republic credits, right? Like if a bad time showed the
Yes,
Republic
we
credits,
do.
are like, who'd you steal that
Here
from?
you go. Thank you.
Okay, whatever. This is done. That was my last point. I think I made my case.
No, you didn't. You made a bad case.
All right. Everybody play nice.
Never.
We can all agree that Superman's better than Batman, and that's all that matters. It's fine.
It's true.
I will forever be sad that the big game that Rocksteady's working on isn't Superman. I'm so sad.
Oh,
No,
I'm
but
not
he's in the
sad.
game, dude.
He's in the game. It's gonna
know.
be great.
There was actually an interview that I
It'll be a
watched
bonus
with,
level where you play Superman
two of the guys who used to work at Rocksteady.
and quit
Dax
because they're
Ginn, who's
doing.
no. Dax Ginn, who's the community manager, and oh, it's terrible. I can't remember his name, but he was like a developer. Anyway, he was like the lead gameplay designer or director or something on Arkham Knight, and he worked on Suicide Squad. And in an interview, this is just funny because it stood out to me. It was on the MinMax show. Shout out to the MinMax show podcast. They were talking about they left because they started an indie company and they're making a game called Spirit of Fire, something of Trials of Fire. It's like a deck building RPG.
Cool.
Anyway, he mentioned the stuff that he'd worked on with Rocksteady, and he specifically said, "I was involved in helping prototype the project that eventually became Suicide Squad." That was how he phrased it, and I thought that was very funny.
That's very
He
funny.
didn't say
It's very, very
Suicide
funny.
Squad. He said the project that eventually became Suicide Squad, which just like feeds into that theory that we have that it started off as a Superman game that got morphed into a Suicide Squad game.
Yep.
Yeah, because Superman's in it, and you now Suicide Squad's in it, and Suicide Squad good, and Superman bad, but
And it's
Suicide
in
Squad also
Metropolis.
bad.
And the main villain is Brainiac.
Yeah, so
And all the
So-
characters fly.
yeah. Well, Harley Quinn doesn't fly. She uses hammer.
I guess she doesn't have a jetpack.
She
I
has
forgot about
hammer.
that. I'm pretty sure others had jetpack. I know Deadshot
The
had a
hammer's
jetpack
bouncy.
for some reason.
Yeah, maybe she bounced with hammer. She used hammer bounce.
Hammer bounce.
Hammer bounce.
Hammer bounce.
Oh
Hammer bounce?
God.
Hammer bounce.
Hammer.
But I just thought that was funny. As soon as he said that, I was like, you were making a Superman game, weren't you? Yeah, you were.
No,
It's
they
kind
were-
of funny. The Arkham. This is just a random tangent. I never thought that the Arkham universe would then turn itself into something that feels more like DC Universe Online.
Mhm.
Like that's the aesthetic I get from the Suicide Squad game, is just kind of like the haha superheroes.
Yeah.
Boing.
Or like Gotham City Imposters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotham City Imposters? What?
It was an online shooter, first-person shooter.
It was a free-to-play
Oh,
first-person
yeah, I
shooter where
remember
you
that.
played as a bunch of guys dressed up as Batman and Joker.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was free to
And,
play
yeah,
on the
it's, like,
360.
weird. It has a very like Team Fortress kind of aesthetic. It's very like
Oh.
cartoony. And yeah, you had like all kinds of like weird weapons. Like if you were like on the Joker gang, you know, you could use like little exploding boxes and like
Punch
stuff like
guns.
that, and like punch guns and like goofy shit, and you could like customize your character. It
And
was
then the
weird.
Batman team had like a grappling hook and like things like that, and they were just like dudes that were like really skinny or overweight, but wearing like weird homemade DIY Joker and Batman outfits.
Yeah.
Hate it.
It was weird. It was a
It's
weird use of
strange.
the property.
Yeah.
How did you not? I feel like it was everywhere at one point. Gotham Imposters, yeah, this thing. Hold on, let me see if I can find a big old image of it.
Ugh.
Oh my god, it's so tiny. God damn it.
So tiny.
But maybe one day I'll get the Superman game of my dreams.
No.
One day.
Maybe one day.
Someday.
No.
Today's
Yeah,
not
this thing. Oh, hold up. Oopsies.
This is
Oopsies.
completely brand new to me.
Oh.
This. Oh god, this thing. Gotham City Imposters. No,
This-
don't recognize it.
Nope. This is completely brand new to me.
Cool. Rad. Sweet.
It was weird. Say that.
But yeah, that's Batman and Joker,
Oh,
Yeah,
no
obviously.
way.
the beloved
Obviously.
characters.
No
The
way.
beloved DC characters, Batman and Joker.
With
Well, I think that might wrap it up for us for this week, there, fellas.
Indeed.
Unless anybody else had any final remarks on the economy of Republic credits and Star Wars, I think we might be all done for the day. Thank you guys for doing it. You did it again. Good job. Thanks anybody who is or is not in chat or has at any point been in chat or was watching us or hanging out.
got a few
or-
people hanging out. Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you so much. This is gonna be, we're doing it on Saturdays now.
Are
our
we
thing.
gaming or anything later? Sean, what are you doing?
Yes. I'll certainly play something. Oh, Brandon, that's a really good sound. Thank you.
It really. Yeah, let me feast my earsicles on that.
That's real good. That's really
Give my earsicle.
nice. But if you're interested in hanging out with us more this Thursday, we're going to be starting our Divinity Original 2.
Nice.
Originally Divinal.
Original.
Original Sin
Originally Divinal.
playthrough. Two playthrough. We're gonna
Oh
get
my
together.
God.
Fuck, that's
and,
funny.
We're just gonna start, and we're gonna see how much of this game we can play over the course of several Thursdays.
I would
yeah,
assume
but-
that this week will probably be majority character creation.
Yeah,
And then-
I went through and
and
took a
then
look
some.
at the character creation. It looks really cool.
Yeah, same.
It's
Basically, 'cause I was just
in-depth.
making sure the game.
It's very in
worked.
depth.
But yeah, we'll get together. We'll do character creation. We'll probably play through a little bit of the tutorial sort of area, whatever.
Mhm.
We've got to figure out our party composition. That's going to be a big thing. You know, is who's going to play what.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm excited. I'm very excited.
yeah, I'm stoked.
I'm really excited for the sort of cooperative nature of this game. It's
Yeah,
gonna be fun.
I've been wanting a new co-op game to play for so long. Just something else that we can do together. So I'm really excited.
Are
about
we
this.
are we role playing? Like, is that gonna like? Are we gonna be like, this is my character, this is what
Oh,
they
dude,
do?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
Yes.
We're
if
playing
I
D&D, but on the computer.
Well, I would also like, when inevitably Baldur's Gate gets finished, I would like to do the same thing with Baldur's Gate.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
I'm sick
Yes,
of that.
true.
That's why I haven't played it yet, mostly because it's still in early access, and I know that there's more game to come. But
Yeah, like it's not done.
It's also
but
a
yeah,
full $80.
and we're playing Divinity because we reached a fundraising goal. We do some fundraisers and stuff sometimes, which is really cool. Over the holidays, we did a Christmas charity stream, and so we're gonna be doing that. So make sure you're subscribed if you're new. And if you're not new, you know what's up. You'll see us around. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you guys on Thursday.
Bye.
Hell yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Keep waving. Keep waving. Keep waving. It's not done yet. Ah! Ah!